this location is gorgeous. This is the prettiest drawing I've ever seen in an Ace Attorney game. It's so beautiful. Like, it looks very nice. They went all out with their budget on this, and I really appreciate it. Look at that. It looks so good. So, this is where it happened. Briar Road. Ah! Look, Mr. Naruhodo! Look at that regulation metal helmet! It's unmistakable! The men of Scotland Yard are here! They're investigating as we speak! Why is that so exciting? That is their job, you know. But Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes? They're often depicted in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but I never dreamt I'd ever come this close to a real Bobby's helmet. What? The helmet? He doesn't understand fangirls. Of course, I have to try one on one day. Well, I hope your hatty dream comes true. Shut up. Oh god. Hi. What's the Japanese delegation doing here? Oh, it's Inspector Gregson. This isn't on the tourist trail, as I'm fairly sure you're well aware. Yes, of course. We're here to investigate. So you've been to the holding cells, then? What do you make of the criminal? He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect. Tell him. We'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. I'm gonna clock you. Well, do what you will. Doesn't bother me. Bloke's in court tomorrow. Bloke's in court tomorrow, whatever happens. And the verdict's a foregone conclusion. Ugh, stone cold air of rejection. Doesn't matter, though. Your boss told us we could look around, so shut up and sit down. Take heart. London at this time of year is full of stone cold air. That makes it worse, somehow. Actually, no, we need to look around first. There's a couple of things that we actually need to look at, and there's a couple of things that are just fun to look at. Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carriage! They use vehicles like that to rush to crime scenes and cart away criminals. You're very well informed, aren't you? It's been a long dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London. Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows, then. But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it. Wouldn't it? Still, if it's the only way, help me find a good stone. No, I wasn't serious. I love her so much. She's so goofy. What a delightful snowman. I didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. Looks a little creepy though. Wait, do the Japanese have a tradition of making snowmen at this time? That's really cool. Okay, it looks a little creepy though. Oh, it has a scarf, look. You'd need one if you were out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one. I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment too. We certainly can't afford a scarf. Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his. But the person who made the snowman certainly would. Yes, I know, you're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. That's it. That's all they had to say about that. Excellent. Brilliant. Okay. Oh. Weird. The clouds look so big and heavy in the sky, don't they? And with the dense fog as well, everything looks hazy. I really like this type of weather, personally. Well, it is known as Foggy London Town. I can just make out some sort of spire through the fog. It looks like it's still being built, though. Aha! Yes, that must be the Crystal Tower, being built for the great exhibition that's to open in 6 months' time. Apparently it's going to be very striking, glazed on all sides, and the symbolic centerpiece of the exhibition. It's to be the largest exposition in history, is it? I can't even begin to imagine it. You might be here during it. That'd be cool. It'd be crazy if that was, like, something that was gonna happen in the game or something. That'd be crazy. It's not like they're building something up at all. This patch of pavement must be where the incident occurred. Yes, it's a very wide open space, isn't it? That's true. I can't see anywhere an attacker could have been hiding. Oh, wait. Oh, Oi, what are you foreigners doing here? Ah! Oh, just investigating the scene of the... Conspiring with that mustached fella from Japan, are you? Conspiring? Come here to destroy evidence, have you? Get out of here before I give you an idin. An idin? Okay, sure. Go on. No. Strongheart literally gave us permission. He'd shoot us away like rats. Yes, we should give him a wide berth, I think. What a disappointing experience. Oh, that's so sad. Aw. I can click on the bobbies individually? Why? Why would I want that? It's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if we wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons. I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. No, I don't think so. We've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough. True. Twice I found myself in handcuffs, despite not knowing a thing about what was going on. Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure it's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favors at all. Thanks, Isato. Really good friend. I don't know if we actually need to examine things here or not. Oh, look at the windows of that building there. Are you sure they're windows? Yes, but they're all filled in with bricks. Oh, you're right. I wonder why. Perhaps it's an empty property where nobody lives at the moment. There's smoke coming from the chimneys, though. That's true. Oh dear, everything still feels very foreign. There's so much we have yet to learn about this place. Okay. That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history. Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll on the place. It's crooked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks in decidedly worse shape than the other houses around here. We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible. Yes, you're right. Cheap, but ideally within reasonably level floors. Yeah, safe. Oh, a British bicycle, look! Although the wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore. Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling. It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well. Wow, that's cool. Bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that. Okay, ouchie. Like, what? The bicycle fad? What are you on about? Goodness, do you dislike bicycles? No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them, exactly. It's just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off firm ground seems reckless. If you'd ever tried walking on stilts and fallen into a river, I know you'd agree with me. Yes, Kazuma-sama did tell me a story about you doing that one time. He said he was so angry having to fetch you out of that water because of course you couldn't swim. We'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. You can sit behind me while I ride. I swear I haven't read this dialogue. That's so funny. You can sit behind me while I ride you around. Oh, that's so funny. As if she already knows how to ride a bicycle, which, like, there's zero way. Okay, fine. I'll talk to Gregson. Oh, there's so much to talk to Gregson about. I don't want to talk to Gregson. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Sorry. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about it in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the place. Yard. Most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, madam. Ma'am. Oh, and you know I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet. Does make them look the part, seeing that policeman there with his helmet on. You certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city. Oh yes, doesn't he look wonderful? Being a London Bobby is hard, I can tell you. Oh, really? Of course it is. First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Goes round and rouses all the labourers on his beat so they can get off to work. What? He wakes people up? Yep. Raps on the windows a long pole.
Did it myself going back a bit. Wow.
I had no idea. Man, they're really wasting their resources, aren't they?
Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just another one of his duties. After that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance.
I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way.
Yeah.
Let me see. My book tells me that exact number. 20 miles. That's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama.
On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far.
I'd say a little more than one step.
When it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps.
Oh my. And I suppose in between all of those duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well? And chase after criminals trying to evade the law?
I'm not sure you could call it in between, exactly. More alongside, but yes. They're expected to handle those jobs as well. We do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit.
It's awful. Yeah, it's not so romantic and awesome now, is it? I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart that I should have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Nar.
I don't want it. Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do.
Okay.
Happened at around 5 in the evening, 2 days ago. Just there on that open bit of pavement. Victim, young woman, stabbed with a blade from behind.
Is it right that the lady is still unconscious now? You mentioned that she's being treated in hospital.
I hate that it's in hospital and not in the hospital. It's in hospital. You know the one. Never said she was a lady.
Pardon?
Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all.
Okay, so does he mean lady as in like nobility lady? Or lady as in like, you know, a woman? Because, you know, you would say, oh, you're a lady, right? Okay. I suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course.
I mean, really. Here's a map of the local area I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want.
Really? Are you sure?
Like he doesn't know this place. It's our policy to give lawyers defending suspects the odd bit of information to go on.
I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but I'll pretend that I have. Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept. Thank you.
Anyway, as far as we know, there's no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So who did it, do you think? Not much of a head-scratcher, is it?
Well, I know Mr. Natsumi is also claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean that we can be sure that nobody else was present.
I'm sorry to have to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure. Herlock Sholmes told us.
How?
Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed, even though there were no witnesses, I swear to...
What?
We have 2 very reliable witnesses, no less. If I did face cams, you would see that I shook my hand aggressively while he did. I didn't even think about it. I do that a lot. I copy their body language.
Ah.
The typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them. There were witnesses now.
Oh my gosh, okay. Who are these witnesses, Inspector?
Fellow and his wife, and the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London.
Really?
He's a copper from Scotland Yard.
Ah! Well, a policeman. That might change things. And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked?
Nothing peculiar about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of being a bobby. Catching 'em banging the act and all that.
Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions?
My guest, you can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow.
Oh.
I've no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So, that'll give you something to look forward to. Also, that's not how law works. You talk to your witnesses way before trial.
That's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems. Yep. A policeman witnessed the incident. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed. Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Why is he so aggressive today? He's so mad for no reason. Oh, yes, one more thing, Inspector.
What?
The person who led you to the suspect. I hear that was Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
What are you bringing him up for?
Was it something I said? The color is drained from his cheeks. Oh my gosh, he does not like Mr. Sholmes. Alright, we'll go straight to Mr. Sholmes. Oh.
Who'd you hear that name from?
Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsumi who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings. I'm sure it was the result of one of Mr. Sholmes's inspirational great deductions.
Fiddle faddle!
Really? They're playing this music for that? Ah!
Man's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere.
Oh.
I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime, wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case.
I can understand their frustration. Yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he? He is a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he?
Gibble gabble!
Ah!
Ever seen these before?
Oh, yes, that's Rounce Magazine. The wonderful publication in which the adventures of Sherlock Holmes appears.
Yes, well, a wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the Yard's detectives in its stories. And the so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Sherlock Holmes tale at all.
But I suppose there is an element of that.
We work our socks off, every one of us, only to be frumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. Sounds as dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to all our criminals.
Oh my gosh. That can't really be true, can it, Inspector? Clearly, the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. Well, yeah, because he's just a consulting detective. He has no qualifications other than he says so.
That twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you going to defend him or not?
Well,
Makes no difference to me. But I would just say this. No London lawyer worth his salt would touch that case with a barge pole.
because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean?
There's no way to save the man now. It's a waste of time trying. It's all a bit strange, though.
Sorry?
Reaper. He hadn't appeared in court once for a good few years now.
Yes, we did hear something to that effect.
I heard rumors he was doing some ballet with Miss Nicolina Pavlova's ballet company. And the other people he usually bothers with are the real scum. Master criminals. Violent ones.
Master criminals? The violent ones?
McGilded, a violent criminal? Whoa. That's right, he unpicks his victims. Only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins.
But Mr. Natsumi wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely.
That's just my point, Sunshine. I love Sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there.
What do you mean? If you stab someone in the back, there's a pretty good chance that you did not stab them to hurt. That's not an argument.
So this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase.
Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it?
Well, yes, but in the grand scheme of things? No, there's gotta be more to it. Some reason he's taken an interest.
Really? What sort of reason, Inspector?
You think he knows? Think I can tell you what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? You'd have to ask him yourself. Tomorrow's trial.
No, I'm not doing that. Are we really going to have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as he put it?
Yup.
Well, I don't think we're going to get any more useful information out of the detective. Mr. Naruto, can I make a suggestion? Oh, yes, what is it? Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this.
By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes?
Of course! Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, exactly!
Look at those shining eyes. You can't wait, can you? No, she can't. She's so excited. Well, Mr. Natsumi did blame Mr. Sholmes for all of this, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He really did.
Yeah, we know.
Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again.
Yes, it is. Oh, the trouble is, it definitely is. We have no idea of the man's address, even.
It's Baker Street. We're pen pals.
How do you know that?
It's in the stories, of course.
He's doxed himself.
221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world.
Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. If he's a consulting detective, it's probably his place of business. So, I mean, sure. We better try to find our way there before Tsusato-san gets any more excited and unpredictable. Who knows what she'll do.
Hurrah! I'll summon a carriage.
She's so excited. So we're going to have a reunion already. With the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
We sure are. Aren't you excited?
Alright. Let's go. Let's go see him. You have no idea how excited I am for this.
Can we really visit, do you think? Oh, pinch me. I'm sure I must be dreaming.
Susato, shut up. Just be quiet.
Thank you very much. It's just up there overlooking the street. Good day.
Thanks again. This is it. The residence of Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Yep. Here we are. Look at it. It looks so pretty. Oh, it's so awesome. So this is where the great detective makes his living. Feels surreal to be here somehow. Uh-huh. Oh my gosh, she's freaking out. Is it as described in the stories, Mrs. Sato? Susato-san?
Many famous cases have been solved here in this very room.
Oh, I suppose they must have been, yes. I've never read the stories, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be.
The detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears into the fog and down an unlit London street. Oh, the thrill of it, the romanticism! Can't you feel your heart beeping, thumping in your chest, beeping?
My heart is beeping.
Can't you, Mr. Naruto?
Oh, I suppose I can, yes, I always can, though. It would be bad if you couldn't.
So, if you don't mind, I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer.
Aw.
Oh, please, don't mind me.
Oh, bless her. Oh, she's obsessed. Yeah, she's a fangirl. Well, looks like our detective friend isn't home at present. Excuse me, is anybody home?
Oh, do we have a visitor?
Yeah!
Hello, is it a big new case for Mr. Sholmes?
Hello? Wait,
Aren't you? Oh, how rude of me. I'll go and make some tea at once.
I'm sure it's the same girl.
Mrs. Sato, did you see the girl who was just here? I'm not going crazy, right? Oh, yes. Isn't it truly extraordinary? To think that the King of Bohemia came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on it.
She did not listen to what he asked her. The King of Bohemia? Oh my gosh.
King Wilhelm Gottfried Sigismund von Ormstein, of course.
Sorry, pray forgive the discourtesy.
Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Forget the adventures of Sherlock Holmes for a moment. Look over there. It's a child. I've never seen one before. The tea is brewed, and I have a freshly baked cake as well. Listen to that theme song. It's a banger. Oh, she's my favorite. I love her. I love her to death. I would die for this character. I don't think you understand. I would give my life to protect her.
Ah, it's you.
I knew it. Sada-san recognizes her too. Ah, there you are. And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. I love her so much. Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGilded's trial in the defendant's antechamber. I've never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Poor you, having to get straight to work when you've only just arrived in London. Oh, yes, it was challenging. Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know. Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color? Aw. Oh my, what a fragrant yet mellow flavor. Hooray! It's a winner! Try blending different leaves designed to alleviate fatigue, you see. You must be exhausted after your long voyage here, and you have another ticklish trial tomorrow.
How on earth do you know this?
Oh, and you're to defend a Japanese man! I do wish you lots and lots of luck. Did Mr. Sholmes tell you all this, by any chance?
When have we talked to Mr. Sholmes?
Oh, you know Early, do you? Hurley? Mr. Sholmes to you, surely.
Rude.
Mr. Sholmes was a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see. Was it really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Early's out on an errand again today, even though he's just returned from overseas. Wait a minute. We met this girl for the first time ever yesterday, after the trial, and only briefly at that. How on earth does she know so much about us? Did she deduce all of those things, do you think? And perhaps more to the point, why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suite? Oh, silly me, I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? Oh. It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson. I live here together with Early. Ah, Iris, is it? What a lovely name. What? What's the matter? No, wait. This can't be. Did you say that your name is Wilson? What's the matter with Susato-san? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden?
My concern lies in the last name more than anything.
Yes, that's right. And what are your names? Oh, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a lawyer from Japan. Oh, sorry. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Susato Migatoba. It's wonderful to meet you. Lovely. Susie and Bruno. Got it.
That's why I have those nicknames for them. I couldn't help it. I accidentally used it, and after that I was like, it's too late. I can't back down on it. But yes, that's where the nickname comes from.
Susie? And Bruno? There's more to this girl than meets the eye. I have so many questions for her, I don't know where to start. Yes, and so do I.
Okay. It told me, the guide, as soon as you are given the chance to talk to Iris, don't, and look at everything first. Even though I want to talk as Iris, we're gonna look at the violin first. You know, I used to be a violinist back in my day of 11 years old. Fun fact, fun Agnel Angle lore.
Ah, I've seen pictures of Western musical instruments like this. It's called a violin, is it? Of course it is. Mr. Sholmes is renowned for his violin playing. Oh, really? Absolutely. It's often explained in the stories. It's inspirational, Mr. Naruto. Inspirational. I immediately started playing the koto, which was the closest Japanese stringed instrument I could find. What a shame you couldn't bring it with you to London. Oh, yes. Well, Papa was beaming when I asked him if he would buy me one. But after a while, he asked if I would only practice when he was out of the house.
Oh,
So now it's merely an ornament in my room.
that must have been an awkward conversation. Yeah. Aw, poor Susato. Alright, let's look at this giant thing. What on earth is this huge over-the-top machine?
That's the great analytoscope. It can analyze anything, really, anything at all. That's absolutely incredible. It's one of Early's inventions. It took him a whole year. He said it was to help him with his investigations. What sort of things has he analyzed with it, do you know? Well, actually, he hasn't used it for anything yet. Oh,
Why not?
apparently on the evening he finally completed it, it suddenly occurred to him, I don't actually have anything I need to analyze.
Oh dear. That sounds like him.
How about you, Runo? You have anything you'd like to analyze?
Oh gosh, her voice is hard. The only thing that springs to mind is this machine itself. I need a machine to analyze the machine. That's... Now you're getting into some... some territory. Okay, that's it. I can look at all the books. There's all sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high, I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment.
I keep telling Early not to cram so much on those shelves.
Good advice.
He wanted to look something up in one of those books a while ago. But it was so tightly wedged in he couldn't get it out. So he went and bought a new copy instead.
Oh my gosh. It's not even that he couldn't find it. He couldn't get it out. Oh, that's so good. I don't know if I ever read that one. I love Sholmes so much. Okay, is that all over here? Okay. We haven't even seen the other side of the room yet. There's another side to this room, if the arrows are any indication. I do like this fireplace. It's one of the best things I've seen since we arrived in the country, in fact. I didn't click on the fireplace. Lingering beside the fire and watching the flames flicker and dance in the grate. Oh, it's so relaxing.
We can't relax, not when there are so many interesting things on the mantelpiece. Oh, it's just as it was described in the stories.
It is?
Yes, exactly. Inside that Persian slipper, for example, are my chocolates for 11s.
What?
And transfixed by that large jackknife. It's my shopping list for the market. Oh, it's not quite how I remember it being described in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
What is this artisan? She looks crushed. Honestly, this is much more amusing. Looks like that huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. It seems very sturdy with an equally sturdy lock.
Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous.
How did you come to that conclusion? Because it's true.
Oh, that chest contains some of my most valuable things.
Thanks for telling us. And that smile tells me you're not going to give us any clue about what they are.
A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mysterious dancing men, a bust of Napoleon. Ah, what an entrancing collection!
This is the first time in my life that I've seen a lonely old shoe displayed as an ornament.
Oh, those are all mementos Early's collected from his past cases.
Really? Even the bust?
Yes, that's right. When the mood takes him, he likes to throw it on the floor and smash it to dust.
Poor defenseless emperor? Mr. Sholmes destroys it?
Yep, and then he buys a new one.
You make it sound like he has the temperament of an insane sculptor. He does.
Oh, how entrancingly bohemian of him.
What does that mean, Susanna? What does that mean? Okay, I want to make sure I get everything, because the dialogue in here is just so lovely. Yeah, here's our side of the room. Look how cute it is.
What a beautiful English tea set, and so neatly arranged. It's a favourite pastime of mine, a cup of herbal tea in the afternoon. Tea made of herbs? That's right, I grow all sorts of herbs in the garden so I can experiment with different blends. One moment, don't go away, I'll brew a pot of special blend I came up with earlier today. She looks delighted. I only hope it's safe to drink.
How dare you question her abilities? I will hurt you and force you to drink it.
It's a charming little white shelf, and full of charming little bottles too. Oh yes, but don't touch any of those. They might explode.
Completely nonchalantly and
Straight face, they might explode. Explode? Are they exotic chemicals? Do you use them for exciting experiments? Yes, indeed. And as Early always says, oh, chemistry's an explosive science.
the way she mimics his little sprites. Ah!
Sorry? I agree. A single discovery can trigger an explosion of innovation all around the world.
Or perhaps he just meant it literally. Either way, mental note. Do not touch any bottle that belongs to Iris. That's a good mental note.
You can't click anything over here, can you? No. We'll click this first. Ah, that's my blackboard where I note down ideas. Ooh, interesting. Let's see. Black Peter. What does that mean? Don't you want to hear what Iris has to say, Mr. Naruto?
I'll come back to that blackboard later. Okay, that's the game telling me to look at it again. I'll try to remember.
What on earth is that big black lump over there? Ah, that fascinating thing is called a typewriter. It's a machine that allows you to write on paper without needing a pen. And wizardly quickly, too.
Ooh, that sounds like it'd be very useful for someone like me with terrible handwriting. He does strike me as the type. Which my handwriting has never been great, either. I was kind of bullied into having good handwriting by or readable handwriting by my teachers. Anyway, I guess it's time to talk to her now. I'm so excited. Yes, we get lots to talk to her about.
It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? The Old Bailey. Yes, that's right. You were ever so helpful. Thank you so much. Oh, no, not at all. I'm so sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming. Though, at the time, we did have a rather large gun pointed at us.
Oh, you mean this? I knew she was gonna do it. Like this? Oh, I want to hug her. A gulp.
Thinking back now, you left with Mr. Stradentoe, didn't you?
Oh, yes, that awkward witness. That's mean. Gina Lestrade.
Oh, Ginny? Yes, she's a professional pickpocket.
So we found out.
It was very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that.
You referring to that trial-disrupting gun-like contraption?
Exactly. So I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in my inventions.
This girl is dangerous. Yes, she is.
Anyway, I brought Ginny back here after that, so she could apologize to my trusty technician.
Sorry, your technician?
Early, of course, silly.
It's so funny. She calls him her technician. It's so cute.
Hurley? Yes, Erlock Sholmes. We live here together.
I had no idea the great detective had such an interesting young daughter.
Daughter? Not likely.
What?
I wouldn't call him Early if he was my father, would I?
Well then, what is your relationship with Mr. Sholmes? That's inappropriate to ask.
Well, I expect you found out that... Okay. Well, I expect you found out that lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner, a roommate.
Your roommates? And they were roommates?
I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you? 10 at last this year. Well, what of your mother and father?
You cannot ask that, Ryunosuke. That is so inappropriate.
Oh no, they're not around.
Oh, I see. Wonder what the story is there. I wonder if it's any of your business. Sorry, I would defend Iris with my life.
Oh yes, there's something I must ask you. Of course. Go ahead, Susie. I am a very great fan of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and oh, you have a copy of Rand's magazine. Yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship. Oh, this is so exciting. My stories are being read on the other side of the world.
My stories?
That's right. Early's always solving such amazing cases, you see, and he tells me all about them. They really are quite fascinating. Would be such a shame if I was the only one who ever heard about him, don't you think?
Oh, she's so sweet. I love her. I would die for her. I love her so much.
Goodness! Last night he was telling me all about a new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. So I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came in. So you are the author? Yep. I'll let you in on a secret if you like. I'm going to call this latest adventure The Speckled Band.
Isn't that so cute? It's so... Speckled Band? That's certainly very familiar.
Of course, I always change one or two details in the stories, here and there. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble.
So, if you haven't caught on, what she does is she takes the real cases and she goes, no, I like this more. And then she changes them completely, however she wants, and then publishes them. And it's the cutest thing ever. She's so precious. So the real Sherlock Holmes stories she wrote, but this is what really happened. If we're, in this universe, this is what really happened. And I think that's really cool. It's a very good take.
Oh, that was Mr. Sholmes's first thought as well, actually. Yes, and of course I know that a snake might not be a credible fit for all the facts of the case exactly, but it's a story. Some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think, don't you? So, do you mean to say... are the stories about Mr. Sholmes that are published in Rand's magazine all written by me? Yes, my wonderful and very modern typewriter. But the stories all the stories I've ever read are written by a doctor of medicine, by Dr. John H. Wilson.
Uh-oh. Sada-san's getting more and more worked up.
Ah, yes, that's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson. But what about the doctor of medicine part? That's all true, too. I am a doctor of medicine. No, at 10 years old? At 10 years old.
Well, that's quite incredible. She is so... Oh, no!
But Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman. Ah, yes. I did alter the setting slightly for the stories to be more compelling.
I argue that a dude solving crime with a 10-year-old is much more compelling than some old white guy. Like, just saying.
Oh. Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow.
I think it's hilarious. I think it's wonderful. Much more interesting.
I suppose it does, yes.
Poor Sada-san. She looks like her whole world is just falling apart. And we're back to her music. About before.
Yes, what's on your mind, Reno? Do tell me.
How did you know? That I was a lawyer and we'd just arrived in London, I mean.
Yes, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all of that? Oh, that's what you mean. Please, tell us how you did it. Explain every detail. Of course, I'd be delighted. Although there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Iris Wilson is proud to present her logic and reasoning spectacular. First of all, I knew you were already a lawyer, Runo. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's antechamber.
But you also said that we'd only just arrived in London. How did you know that? That was not... Okay. He slept with it!
I observed a passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket.
Oh.
So I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country. And on top of that, you accepted a case against that particular prosecutor, telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs.
Oh, I love that they show him. Hi. He looks so scary. The Reaper of the Bailey? I walked right into that one, didn't I? Wow.
Then I noticed a red ink stamp on the back of Susie's hand.
Okay, again, history friends. Did they do that? In the 1800s? Like 1899? Did they do that? Did they do stamps? Like on hands? I mean, I guess so. That's just weird to me. Okay.
You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with a suspect, weren't you? Earlier today. Ah. They use those stamps to keep a close eye on coming and goings, you see. I didn't realize. And a red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates.
Okay, no, that's bullshit. They would not have something for foreign inmates? That's weird.
So, that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial of Magnus McGilded, 2 of you had already had cause to visit a foreign inmate at a local prison. However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face, so I concluded the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative. That led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case.
I see. She's so brilliant. But how could you have known that the trial is tomorrow?
Lucky guess. Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Early solved yet another case. It obviously amused him. He told me he'd caught a Japanese man who was boiling and trembling.
Japanese man? Well, clearly that must have been... Indubitably. Mr. Natsumi.
Now, Runo has that fancy Japanese sword. And I think your outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Susie? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that you both come from Japan yourselves. So I put 2 and 2 together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Early caught. And there was one other conclusion. And there was only one conclusion that those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Early about the case.
I love her.
There's a note on the manor place that says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Early's always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know. He is silly.
That is the perfect description of him. He is silly.
And that's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions.
I love her. I love her so much. I love her.
Well, was it a winner? Were my deductions correct?
They were spot on.
That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction. Where did the stamp on my hand go?
You even managed the certain something of Mr. Sholmes's delivery. You even managed the certain something. Okay, sure. Oh, right. Okay, delivery.
Yeah. Oh, well, I was just copying Ellie's style for that.
This is really very good news.
You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please? So, yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying? Yes. Early had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage. The police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene. Ah, Great Detective's a popular man, it seems. Apparently a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking, stooped man running away from the scene. A short, shifty-looking, stooped man. That's right. Mr. Natsumi, beyond any doubt. Soseki-san said... that was a lot of S's. Soseki-san said that he didn't see anybody else on the street at all. But it seems there were witnesses after all. I mean, I guess he was panicked. He wasn't really looking around, he was just running. Early used his great deductive powers to deduce the man's address. It was a lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police, and what did they find? A short, shifty-looking, stooped man shivering in fear. Oh, Mr. Sholmes' great deduction certainly hit the mark that time. Of course it did! He's a great detective! You're gonna defend him to the bitter end, aren't you? Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it? Yeah, no. There are weeks and sometimes months before trials.
Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly.
Early says that London is rife with crime. Oh. Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it, apparently.
Oh dear. I hadn't realized the situation was so dire.
That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying the criminals in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person.
That's not good.
That's terrible. I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice system.
I suppose it is, but in that case, I don't hold out much hope for Soseki-san. Well, thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative.
Oh, you're most welcome. I've had so much fun.
You happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? As you guessed, we'd like to ask him some questions about this case as well.
Ah, well, I expect Early's still investigating the scene.
Of the case involving Mr. Natsumi, you mean?
Yes, Mr. Natsume. Early said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there.
Iris, do you know where those lodgings are?
Well, imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson when you were there?
Yes, we know Inspector Gregson.
Oh, goody! In that case, give Gregsy this from me, would you? If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know.
What is this? A bribe?
A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems.
She is bribing him! She's bribing him!
It reads, "Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem."
Oh my god!
Gosh, this will make the inspector help us, will it?
Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try. We'll give bribing an official a try.
Good luck, then. I'm going to return to write my manuscript, A Speckled Band, about your dead friend. And I'll be making more special blends of tea, so come back again soon.
We'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. Well, Mr. Naruto, it's back to the scene of the crime.
So, somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men at Scotland Yard at all. We headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. Weird spot to have it to be continued. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and a subscribe for me and maybe a comment and tell me what you think about stuff. I really like that, and any engagement helps me greatly.
Yeah, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.